Somewhere within us, there are dreams and aspirations that we have long cherished but have not yet pursued or have never acted upon. Why? This lesson helps us recognize the barriers within our inner world and learn how to break free from them. It helps us transform into a new version of ourselves, break through our limitations, and unlock our unlimited potential. Core knowledge diagram the transformed person. Everyone, every one of us is surrounded metaphorically by a cocoon. How thick this cocoon becomes de- depends on each individual. It consists of 6 layers, representing 6 barriers or limitations in human perception. Um, Image of a person after transformation. After transformation, the person is depicted as having grown bigger and stronger, a larger body, bigger arms and legs, bright eyes, a smiling mouth, and 3 additional strands of hair. The 6 limitations. 1. Belittling oneself, underestimating oneself. We see ourselves as merely ordinary or even insignificant and believe, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. In the language of the inner world, this is called a limitation in self-perception. 2. Fear of failure. Because we fear failure, we become afraid to take action. We hesitate, hold ourselves back, and do not care to move forward. 3. Fear of criticism and judgment. We are especially afraid of being criticized or judged by people we love and care about. 4. Lack of resources or conditions. When we believe that we do not have sufficient resources or favorable conditions, we tend to delay and hesitate, which weakens our capacity to take action. 5. Lack of knowledge or understanding. Insufficient knowledge and understanding can become an internal barrier that prevents us from moving forward. 6. Lack of a vision for future. When we do not know where we are heading in the future, our ability and motivation to take action are also weakened. Questions for shifting awareness. What happens when we have a clear vision for our future? What happens when we have greater understanding and sufficient resources or conditions? When we overcome fear, the fear of criticism and judgment and limitations within our self-perception, our potential for growth becomes limitless. Establishing a new awareness. These barriers cause us to hesitate and hold back whenever we face change. As a result, people often change only after experiencing loss or suffering. However, people can also change because of love. Change that comes through loss or suffering can be extremely difficult and may require us to pay a very high price. Therefore, instead of waiting until loss or suffering forces us to change, the wisdom passed down by those who have gone before us encourages to choose to change because of love. The metaphor: if an egg is broken by a force from the outside, it becomes food. But when transformation takes place from within, the egg hatches and a new life emerges. Human beings are the same. When we encounter suffering, if we do not proactively choose to change, greater pain may arise and eventually force us to change. If we still refuse to change, even greater suffering may follow. And if even that does not awaken us, loss may ultimately compel us to transform. However, transformation caused by suffering is often driven by external circumstances. A genuine breakthrough that arises from within ourselves is the foundation of sustainable transformation. To break Through our limitations, we must proactively remove the internal barriers within our perception. This is transformation without having to pay the painful price of being forced to change, just like the egg, where transformation begins from within, a new life emerges. The metaphor of the rocket. Imagine a rocket preparing to launch into space. Its engines are fully powered and ready for liftoff, but the rocket is held down by 6 chains. The moment those chains are cut, the rocket immediately rises into the sky. This metaphor gives us an extremely important insight. When we remove the limitations within our own self-perception, we open the way for transformation without limits. The barriers that restrain human growth are rooted in our inner self-perception rather than solely in external circumstances. Among these 6 limitations, one particularly powerful key is expand your vision of the future. When our vision of the future expands, it becomes much easier to overcome the other barriers. Key takeaway: instead of waiting for suffering or loss to force us to change, we can consciously choose transformation because of love. We do not have to wait until life pushes us into change. We can recognize our inner limitations, release them one by one, expand our vision for the future, and consciously step into a new vision of ourselves. When the barriers within are removed, the potential within us is free to unfold. Choose transformation through love rather than waiting for transformation through suffering.
Okay.